Paul and James here from the new Sweet Science.
What is up? Beaner. Let's bring Beaner back.
Beaner.
That's not.
He's crazy.
Who's crazier, Beaner or Cousin Rex?
Beaner.
Okay.
Cousin Rex is wild. Beaner's crazy.
Okay, so for those new, Beaner is your, like in the movie Fight Club. Spoiler alert here. Brad Pitt and Norton are the same character. That's like you and Beaner, right? In a sense?
Yeah.
Two characters that are the same person but different?
Yes. I like this.
Thank you.
It's gonna be crazy when Beaner finds out that he's also me. Man, he's gonna be tripping. Is Beaner trying to destroy the whole world?
Is that the theme of the movie? Is that Brad Pitt's goal?
I can't remember. I just remember all the buildings falling.
Now, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain tries to take over the world. I remember that character more vividly than I remember Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
I always admired the Brain. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the Brain. Well, think about the Brain's resilience. Literally every day, attempts to take over the world. Every day fails. Gets up the next day, driven to do it again.
Rank these brains: the human brain, Brain from Pinky and the Brain, or Krang.
What's Crane?
Krang from Turtles.
Damn it, man. I don't remember that character.
Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's the brain inside of the giant body. He's like the main bad guy, him and Shredder, but I think he's above him.
He's Shredder's boss.
Yeah.
Damn it. No, I've never heard of that character. So number 3, based on that alone.
Damn, he was probably going to be my number 1.
Is it Crane?
Krang. He's in the middle of his body. For each 8-ball you've done in your life, you forget one memory. And this must have fell within it.
Correct.
Because you were a Turtles fan. You were there on my birthday when my dad took the family to the... Or wait, was that your birthday?
I think it was my birthday.
Someone's birthday, we went and saw the Turtles.
This is correct. I remember this vividly. Except for this character, obviously.
Yeah, he probably wasn't in it. He was in the cartoons. This
character does not ring a bell. But actually for me, it's for every gram I did.
Okay.
And that's a lot of memories.
Well,
what do you do?
Rest in peace, Krang. I have one other thing a word that I learned today. It was probably just several hours ago. Have you heard the term vaccinista?
Vaccinista? This is a new term.
I think so.
Is this someone who shows off they got the vaccine?
Here's the exact definition. A person who gets the vaccine and flaunts it will high-end shopping trips and parties. I don't get that part.
So I'll tell you.
So they flaunt the vaccine. That's how I interpret it.
I could never be friends with the vaccinista. Not, do your thing if you are one. I don't care. I'm not judging you. I just know our personalities. They wouldn't jive for too long, and we couldn't be friends.
All right. Rank these istas.
Okay.
Blood giver ista, voter ista,
oh my Lord,
vaccinista.
This is the worst ranking you've ever given me. Here's the thing. We're fresh in vaccinista right now, so that's the worst. But if you had asked me in November during the election, that'd be the worst easily.
Okay.
And, there's a subculture of voteistas who tell you to vote. And they're the worst of all, actually. The people who say go vote, they're the worst people. They're the king of the istas. on their island of people I don't want to be friends with.
Okay.
Okay, just saying. So my favorite is the blood donor person.
Okay. He's number one.
No, just let me clarify. I'm not judging these people. Do whatever you want to do. I just know my personality and yours, it wouldn't jive for too long. Let's not even try being friends.
All right.
I know who I am.
Well, on that note.
So now each show we do customizable before the actual show. Then we end with the most absurd customizable humanly possible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to apologize to listeners for last week. And people warm up. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, no, how you doing? Oh, it's fucking warm outside. Let's have a little fun. Talk about some turtles, some vaccinistas, and now we gotta come back down to reality. Is Conor versus Poirier 3 off? Oh, wait, hold on. It just got officially announced.
Yeah, I heard Dana announced it, right?
Okay, so was it not announced before?
I thought it was announced before.
So it's off, and then this was the re-announcement. Dana is like, it's back on after Conor canceled it through Twitter.
So we can celebrate now, man.
Did you think?
As someone who comes from a line of inbred hillbillies, Conor's tweet offended me beyond belief. And I hope Poirier takes his chin in their rematch now. And first of all, Conor, do you have there's the black card or the end card? I have the hillbilly card because my dad is or was 40% hillbilly. Does Conor have any hillbilly in him? You can't just go out there, turn on the hillbilly without having hillbilly in your lineage.
That's where they all came from. It's basically Scotch-Irish going to Appalachia and then wherever else. See, he's like pre-hillbilly. He doesn't even know it. He's genetically a hillbilly. He's genetically predisposed to be a hillbilly.
Conor is.
Yes.
Based on his behavior, I agree.
Yeah. When he's drinking, he's doing all stupid stuff. I'm like, he's just hanging out with the guys.
Okay.
He's a hillbilly. Right. Takes one to know one, I guess.
Now, however, though, he doesn't know he is. So does that. Then is he let off the hook for his racist comment?
Is Poirier a hillbilly? He's like a swamp Billy or whoever they are down in Louisiana. That's a different kind of Billy. I think. I don't know. I'm just testing.
This is above my knowledge. I just know that as someone who descends from a line of hillbillies, his comment offends me.
So you're rooting for Poirier as of right now?
100%. I also prefer hot sauce over whiskey.
I'm not a big whiskey guy, but I am an alcoholic. So I'm still just going to go whiskey.
But you love food, though.
Yeah, but I love alcohol. I lust alcohol. I love food. My favorite liquor, though, is tequila. That's wiener. Look at that. Crazy.
And your girl, doesn't she have alter ego too that loves tequila? So you and your girl both have tequila loving alter egos.
Yeah, but she doesn't drink that often. Which is good because you need someone to be normal and responsible and drive home. Were you ever worried, I guess if I use the term worried, about Conor versus Poirier being off? Did you think there was a chance someone was going to fight Conor next?
Okay, so to answer the worried question, no. Because I've evolved to a being that doesn't look forward to fights anymore. When they happen, I enjoy them. I'm glad they're here. And especially with Conor, the guy is such a fucking whack job, allegedly, that who knows if he's going to fight one time, 10 times, or not for 10 years. So, he's kind of on this own island doing his own thing. if there's an event he's on, he shows up to it.
He's literally on an island.
What's that?
He's literally on an island. So the analogy fits.
Thank you. So whatever happens with him happens with him. Poirier's going to fight somebody for sure. The guy's a fighter. He's going to fight somebody. Whether Conor does or doesn't, I don't know.
Wouldn't that have been funny if Poirier turned down the 155-pound title for Conor? Conor doesn't fight him. Therefore, what does Poirier do? Poirier doesn't have to get the next title shot. He has to fight a different guy.
That would be funny. But that would be that'd be ironic and funny, entertaining, all of that.
I am a purist. I want guys to defend their titles. I want contenders to fight for the title. But then there's the Beaner side who wants just the craziest, stupidest shit that makes me laugh happen. And that's why I'm self-destructive. So that sums that up. Conor versus Poirier 3. Okay.
So are we officially ranking fight announcements? It's like that's been in how many fight announcements rankings? 3, 5, 7?
All right. Which fight announcement's better? Conor versus Poirier 3 or Greg Hardy versus Tai Tuivasa?
I'm definitely more certain the Hardy Tuivasa fight happens. So I think based on my confidence level, I must rank that fight higher because I'm more sure it's going to happen.
Okay. What's better, Conor versus Poirier 3 being announced or Rose's comments on Weili Zhang?
What did she say?
It's funny you asked that.
It was a play on the Chinese flag.
Here we go. I have a lot to fight for in this fight, what she represents. I was just kind of reminding myself, my background and everywhere that I come from and my family. I kind of wanted to educate my training partner, Chico Camus, on the Lithuanian struggle and the history of it all. So we watched the other dream team just to kind of get an overall sentiment of what we fight for. After watching that, it was just a huge reminder of like, it's better dead than red. I don't think it's any coincidence that Weili is red. That's what she represents. It's nothing personal against her, but that's a huge motivating factor of why I fight. I fight for freedom. I've got the Christ consciousness. I've got Lithuanian blood, and I've got the American dream. All of those things I am taking with me into this fight. So what was better, those comments or Conor versus Poirier 3 being reannounced?
Conor Poirier 3.
Okay. What do you think of those comments?
I don't know, man. It's a lot to unpack there. I need to look. I need to research it and look into these struggles. You're like the encyclopedia of geography and history and wars and conflicts.
It got me excited.
Tell me what I think about it.
You got excited.
Did I?
The Cold War is back on, baby. Bring them back in. Lower that fucking curtain. Warsaw Pact this together. Let's get this thing going again.
What did she mean by it's fitting that she is red?
I don't think it's any coincidence that Weili is red.
Or yeah. What does that mean?
I mean, because she was born in China. I guess it's not a coincidence. She was born there. You're for those who don't listen to the show, I love the Cold War. I love all wars and history and stuff. I actually hate all wars. It's actually terrible. But it's just, once she said better dead than red, I was like, what the hell is going on? I remember watching as a kid the Berlin Wall getting brought down. And I was just like, oh shit, we're back, baby. When Rose versus Weili fights, we're recording the show live from the Berlin Wall. Live from the Brandenburg Gate, the new sweet science.
Now hang on a second. Is the Berlin Wall parts of it is still there, right? But it's not all still there, is there?
You know how Frank got a piece of the UFC 200 canvas? I got a brick of the Berlin Wall.
I believe that, man.
I don't know how much is there, how much is a lot of things are let's say remodeled, they're whatever, they're fixed back up to be how they once looked. They left it up there as a reminder. Whether how much of it is up, I'm not sure.
So these are anti-communism comments.
So we're going to have to pick. We're both on each side of the wall. So we're not going to be face to face, but one of us is in East Germany. One of us is in West Germany. So one of us is going to be red, buddy. Do you want to choose now or do you want wait or let the fans?
You know which one's which first.
These are.
I feel like I might struggle in a communistic society. Or who knows? Maybe I'd thrive. Just told what to do every day, all day.
No,
I just fucking repeat rinse.
But you know, you're more of a capitalist than me. You're more business. I mean, isn't it? You love W2. I love WW2. And that says it all right there. I got to go to the fucking East Germany, man. Whatever. I have mines around me. I
like that Rose backing down from her comments.
No, she didn't. And to me, I'm not one way or the other. I was excited. Not for one side or the other.
Now, if Zhang wins, does that mean communism wins?
That's basically what the Cold War was whenever they played sports or the space race. This is the new space race right here.
So, side note here, I just type in Rose Namajunas to see what pops up. And the top stories are all of her comments. But then you know how Google gives like people also ask? And they give you like,
can I guess?
Well, here there's 4 options.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Karl Marx, Mao Zedong, Vladimir Lenin.
So all 4 is about Rose.
Oh.
Is Rose or does Rose? And then it's a question following, her name.
Well, like Pat Barry?
One is Rose married to Pat Barry?
Brock Lesnar.
No.
Pat Barry. Joanna.
No.
Trevor Whitman.
Let me give you one because you'll never get this one. The top one is, does Rose Namajunas have cancer?
Whoa. Oh, because of her shaved head? That's ridiculous.
Is that the stereotype? Any shaved-headed woman, people think they have cancer? It's like carrying a Yeti around at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. People think you're drinking.
I never thought that. I think any woman who has her head shaved has went through a psychological meltdown or a breakup.
Okay.
Which is okay. Look at me. I'm bald. I'm in a constant state of psychological breakdown. So
if
I'm not
Britney
judging.
Spears did, Rose kind of did as well. So there's at least 2 cases where that's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
What about Sinead O'Connor? What'd she go through?
Oh, come on.
The revolution?
Come on, man. That's not even her name anymore. She's a Muslim with a different name.
Oh.
She's Sinead Abu Bakr.
Number 4 is, what ethnicity is Rose Namajunas?
I thought she was Japanese, to be the truth.
Well, I looked her up to see where she was born. And it's funny, that was one of the top questions. Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She's cheesehead.
Yeah, I guess her grandma and I have foreign friend. I have a foreign girlfriend from Iraq. There's always another type of person that they don't like and who repress them. So it is what it is. To me, this just says she's trying to motivate herself. And there's a little COVID quarantine in there.
Here's the thing, I get it, because it's obviously Conor is trying to oppress hillbillies. And that triggered anger deep within me.
Yeah.
And now I'm rooting for Dustin.
Now you hate the Irish, huh?
Correct. is there a whiskey that's second to Irish in popularity?
Well, you got to go with the Max thing, the Jameson versus Proper 12, right?
Oh,
What's that?
I Google what country makes the best whiskey, and it's where my lineage comes from on my dad's side, the hillbilly side, Scotland. Scotland is the biggest producer of whiskey in the world and has been for at least 100 years. Hilarious. And guess what? Where's my dad born? Kentucky. What's Kentucky famous for? Whiskey.
I thought it was the Creation Museum.
What?
Kentucky's Creation Museum, where they have a replica of Noah's Ark.
Oh, I'm not aware of this.
Well, I guess it's whiskey then. It kind of proves your point, I guess.
See, that's why he's so upset with hillbillies, man. Because he knows we make the best whiskey. Proper 12, get out of here.
See, you're wanting to fight this hillbilly Irish thing, even though I think they're the same. I'm wanting to go back to Soviet Union versus USA. There's a lot to be excited about. Dare I say passionate. You ever watch?
I've been more fired up for an event in my life. Except when I thought Jake Shields was going to beat GSP. That one didn't turn out too well.
All I know is Julian Marquez needs to be on this card. I mean, his nickname is Cuban Missile Crisis. I wouldn't even care if he was the co-main event based solely on his nickname. And pretty sure the lowest DEFCON level we've ever had, closest the world to be ending. Well, one of them.
I'll put Marquez on both cards. I mean, most cards moving forward. He always has, his fights are exciting. He always has a interesting post-fight take if he wins.
Okay. What was more impressive, his performance or his ability to create a buzz with his post-fight interview?
Well, I don't want to, I'd say probably his post-fight performance.
That's 2 in a row, huh?
I mean, he didn't take out a top 5 guy or anything. You know, like if he takes out a top 10, top 5 guy, then I'll elevate in cage performance. But he has Travis Kelce and other Chiefs tweeting back at him. He's got to facilitate this, whatever game they're going to play. I forgot what they're playing.
Pickleball.
He's got to make this happen though, and get on video, get on social media, and create some additional buzz.
So
he kind of butchered it with Miley Cyrus. So it's a do-over.
So if he learns from his mistakes, you're going to become maybe a fanboy.
I might be a fanboy right now. Listen, if Miley Cyrus tweeted back at me, I'd probably do the wrong thing too.
Would you masturbate to her Party in the USA video if she tweeted back to you?
Hang on.
You tweet before or after you masturbated to it is my question.
That's the one where she's a minor though, right? You're trying to set me up here, man.
No, I feel like I'm being set up now, okay?
I told you she had me at Wrecking Ball.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Wrecking Ball came out in actually, you know what? 2013. Let me see when she was born real quick.
When was she born? 90? 88?
92. So Wrecking Ball, she was 21. Now, hang on. Party in the USA.
Oh, God, I'm about to pay for my comment.
This is important right here, man.
I feel like I'm on walking out the plank, jumping off the ship right now.
All right, so born in 92, Party in the USA. They don't even list the date on Google because they know what's happening here. They're trying to save me, but really save you.
I'm R. Kelly. I'm fighting for my life.
2009, she's 17, man.
God damn it. What state are we in?
Fuck.
I saying this right now from the Philippines, so I don't know if that makes a difference. I should have said
100% does. 100%
Cambodia.
does. Well, we're using a VPN and we're actually routing the podcast through Cambodia just in case we misspeak at some point. So I think we're good, man.
I'm good. Thanks for the thanks for the support. Well, now I have to purchase Bad Baby's OnlyFans. That's great. Pervert. Are you a fanboy of Julian Marquez because this may be the last we see of Sam Alvey, 0-5-1 in his last 6?
I don't want to pile on Sam Alvey here. Everyone knows about our heated history that goes back to 2013. But I don't believe his smile. We're both Game of Thrones fans here. I'm watching his smile. His smile doesn't touch his eyes.
Okay.
It's just his mouth. How could you be smiling when you've won 2 times in 10 fights?
That was a brutal rear naked choke. That's like a strangle. There's a well-applied choke, and then there's just a grab and pop your head off. It was brutal looking.
Yeah, let's focus on propping up Marquez here. I think that's the play.
I mean, he's doing great. He's making the most of his moment. He's on UFC on ABC. You know, he's nailed it twice. People are going to start recognizing this, and they're going to start their own thing now, which leaves a lot of rooms for mistakes, which leaves a lot of room for me getting excited, because I don't attack mistakes. I promote mistakes.
Correct. Let me performance bonus to the UFC for having the event on at a reasonable time for us.
All right. So I want you to rank
time zone, folks.
I want you to rank my 3 favorite things from UFC on ABC.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you got to purchase that stock, or do you got to sell it, or is the closing?
That was just an alert.
That was a Frank giving you an update about Tesla or Bitcoin.
Now it's Doji.
Doji's
up like 110% like in the past week.
Whatever coins, right? What do I say? Virtual coinage?
I don't know. I don't know the term, man. I don't have any coin.
Okay.
There's a sucker over here who won't get rich one day on crypto.
Oh, crypto coin, huh? All right, here's the 3 things.
Okay.
My 3 favorite things from UFC on ABC. Venom gear, main card starting at 3 p.m. All 5 fighters on the main card are someone to look forward to.
Okay. I like the Venom gear more in combat. Like live action.
Ooh. Okay.
Like I feel like some clothes are better on models and some clothes are better in reality.
Okay.
Okay. This is a tough ranking here, man, because these may be my 3 favorite things as well from the card.
It's going to be hard for you not to put that 3 p.m. at number 1.
Well, that's where I'm leaning. That's where I'm leaning.
That's your wheelhouse, man.
I'm going number 2 is the 5 fights or 5
All
fighters.
Right. And number 3, Venom.
Only because I got to pick 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. It's not a negative take on the Venom gear. I enjoyed it.
All right. I have another question for you. Who kicks in the balls faster, Kevin Holland or Jorge Masvidal?
Who kicks what?
Who kicks in the balls faster?
This is like one of those where you don't want to have the record. It's like some records are negative. Thing is, Jorge, when did you last fight? A couple years ago? I got to go with Holland because of just recency.
I guess Holland lost his fight. Jorge won his fight. It was Jorge's is hilarious. I'm pretty sure it's in our Hall of Fame where he just sprints. Basically, if you haven't seen the fight of Jorge versus Darren Till, take Jorge's knee versus Ben Askren and replace it with a direct kick in the balls. And there you go. Seriously, it's what happened. Kevin Holland was a little later. But Vettori, I'm pretty sure we both picked him by decision. You said put a flyer out on Holland by TKO or whatever, but it's weird when stuff just seems like you know what's going to happen and it happens. Mm-hmm. Vettori's tough to beat. You try to KO him. He's got a noggin. You try to submit him. He handled Hermanson, and then you try to kick him in the balls. He has two of them. Holland even cracked him early, like right after kicking him in the balls. But I will say Holland can survive an arm triangle. He was completely locked in on arm triangles in both the Brunson and Vettori fight. Survives them both. Smart for Vettori not to really, commit to it. It just is what it is. So
yeah,
Holland, the guy is so easy to clinch, but he just doesn't look strong enough. I thought his skinny might be able to help sometimes in endurance, but he's at a point where he has to start thinking about, is he going to try to fill in and get stronger at 185, or is he going to kind of dabble in 170? When you keep fighting in those divisions and you're small, it'll catch up to you if you don't have the proper strength and conditioning.
Didn't he weigh in again a couple under the limit?
I don't recall.
I think he did. Let me double check. I think he went at 183 again.
I think in my mind, I can already see it, but we're going to be in the future, and I'm going to put these two fights together as one memory. So it's going to be Holland versus Brunson Vettori. Derek Vettori.
I can see that, man.
So now, does Whittaker just need to win, or does it need to be impressive or conclusive or something, whatever?
Let me give you a hot take here. But Vettori is the more dangerous opponent to Adesanya.
How dare you? Why is that?
Due to the takedowns. We literally just saw Jan in the later rounds use that strategy in rounds 3 through 5. And Vettori, he seems like a really tough guy to me. Like a hard guy to put away, and he's going to be there till the end.
And
now
I was wondering how much he was going to dabble with Holland in the stand-up, and he didn't. He went to the way of victory, and I am impressed with people because I guess I just don't expect the best out of them.
You were worried about that with Dern getting a little too strike happy instead of just using her excellency.
Yes.
In grappling. So in terms of who's more deserving, that's a tough one because in a way.
No. That's not my question. My question is, what does Whittaker need to do? Who's getting the next title shot? Or does something need to happen in the Whittaker fight for him to get it or not get it?
Lucky for both these guys, Darren Till is injured. Because that guy could come off of a draw and got a title shot. I truly believe that. Man, I'm pumped for this fight this weekend.
So what does he need to do? Does Whittaker win and get it? Who's going to get it?
Damn, I don't know, man, because Gastelum and Holland are both short notice opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Neither guy has been on a tear lately. Holland was before his Brunson loss, but now that's 2 losses in a row. And Gastelum, who's the last guy he beat?
Uriah Hall.
And Hall's won like a bunch in a row.
No, I'm joking.
Is it really Uriah Hall?
Just won his last fight, Ian Heinisch.
Okay, that fight is not in my memory bank for some reason. Okay, so he has won his most recent fight before they lost 3 in a row.
They should have switched guys. They should have Vettori versus Gastelum.
Honestly, I think Adesanya calls the shots here. Whoever gets out of these two, if Whittaker wins, Adesanya pick that guy.
It seems.
I think Whittaker gets the shot.
You think Whittaker will get the shot?
Yeah.
So do I.
Just has to win.
As long as it's not too controversial, I guess, or too close or something with a point. His resume is absurd, especially at 185. How they lost to one another, I guess, could play a factor. But like you said, Adesanya could call the shots. The problem now is Adesanya is coming off a loss, so he may not have the leverage he once had. Because guys hate giving rematches.
They sure do, but he really has no choice here.
Yeah, and Whittaker would be coming off a Till, Cannonier, Gastelum. Vettori would be coming off of Fajea, Sanchez, Hoberson, Hermanson, and Holland. Vettori would talk about how doesn't think Whittaker is that hungry, which is what Adesanya and Dana. It is what Dana said, so I get it, because Whittaker had that post-fight presser where after he won a fight, where he just wanted to go home and fucking have Christmas and make kids. I mean, we'll go home to his pregnant wife. I mean, God, who wouldn't want to do that? And
me, but beside me, many men would want to.
Yeah, now I'm distracted thinking about it. I'm all breathing heavy. But I get Vettori saying it. You want to say what the boss said, you gotta sell your shot. But I don't give a damn how hungry a guy is. A guy could be coming off of 3 losses and be starving. I don't care. It's what you do. It's your resume with a little bit of talking to sell it, I guess. But resume is first. If you come in there, what about Fedor? Was Fedor ever hungry?
So
he's the least hungry guy ever.
What occurred here is Dana White needed a reason to schedule Adesanya versus Yan.
Yeah, I get it.
So he manifests one about Whittaker not being hungry, whatever the fuck that means. Mm-hmm. Another guy or girl will behave the same way, and that person's so humble. Like we see all the time, just give me the next guy. No shit talking. Oh, real humble fighter. It's a nice breath of fresh air. Whittaker does it. He's not hungry. Doesn't deserve it. Like, come on, man. And that's how he's always behaved.
You know what? I always say this. Use someone's own words when you want something to happen. I almost want to give a bonus here. This might be technique of the night, or the bonus for this card. Sorry, for Vettori. Trying to make his case for it and using Dana's words.
That's good.
It's actually smart.
It is smart. And the Vettori loss to Adesanya. So if Whittaker wins this fight, the top 2 contenders both have Adesanya the most recent loss. That's kind of fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
The Vettori one was 3 years ago, to this day, actually, April 14th, 3 years ago.
Happy anniversary.
Whittaker was a little under 2 years ago. That could play in Vettori's favor. He's had more time to evolve and get better. It was also a much closer fight.
Yes.
And Vettori's added the takedown component to his game as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's also behaving like he wants it more, which may help him as well.
Who? There's going to be much more shit talking and people love that. How do you think this fight goes this weekend?
Gastelum's going to miss weight. It's pretty much obvious.
Come on.
Oh, wait, during, not pre-fight. Well, he has a
doesn't do it
history of
anymore.
weight issues. And he takes a fight on late notice. And we just passed National Empanadas Day the past week.
Oh my God. I was going to say it's a month out, so we might not get Mas Empanadas. I think he
doesn't eat Mas Empanadas on Empanadas Day.
That's true. That's true. That's hard to argue with. I can't necessarily argue with that. I think Gastelum has fixed his little issue. Some kind of mental issue. Short notice, less pressure. He could let it fly.
Nothing to lose.
But Whittaker, I think if Gastelum doesn't finish Whittaker, he's going to have a hard time winning because Whittaker really controls the range and he has a variety of strikes that he implements. And he's an underrated wrestler too.
Yeah.
I think he went. I will be worried of that left hand. I'm not sure. Gastelum's last KO was Bisbing 2017, but he is fighting tough guys. Whittaker gets hurt almost in every fight. I feel
that's like Whittaker. His luck could be running out with injuries. Because wasn't he injured leading up to the Adesanya fight?
He had all kinds of injuries and everything. But
I'm picking Whittaker. I think he wins.
Yeah, so am I.
Who was Whittaker's original opponent again? Was it Cannonier?
No, he just beat Cannonier. Why Paulo Costa?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that guy. Forgot he even exists.
You forgot about that beautiful body?
I mean, really, Adesanya, I think that's what happens. He starched him. There's a funny meme of Costa with a giant grin on his face starting round 1, and then starting round 2, it's the same picture of him, and just
so
a different look.
The fight you and I were, well, especially you, most excited for was the co-main. Did it deliver?
Did I see this? I meant to say Arnold Allen is a scary guy. Did I see that last episode or no? Or did I think it after watching the fight happen and see him win?
You thought it? Yes.
I don't know. You know what? I was saying he's a scary guy, but that probably occurred after I watched the fight and saw him win the fight.
You want to know why he's a scary guy? Because he has the exact same head position as Vanderlei Silva. That is, his traps are above the top of his head.
Okay.
He holds that chin is tucked at his xiphoid process, just below like his sternum. It is just packed in there. It's crazy looking. It was a close fight. Allen just had those big moments, and he's an all-around solid guy. Training at a TriStar, massaging GSP, and he's slightly awkward. He's slipping all over the place. Allen's 8-0 in the UFC. Said he wants the winner of Ige versus Korean Zombie. Would you like to see that?
Yeah.
Now, for Sadiq Youssef, this is the perfect time for him to fight Hakeem Dawodu, who is the exact same guy to me.
This is your Vicente Luque or maybe that's mine. Who's the other welterweight who kind of, I always confuse the two guys.
What, me, you? That's definitely me. I'm convinced that the UFC confused him and the other guy when he was supposed to fight Neil Magny. See, that's how it's right. You don't even know who the other guy is, and I don't even know who the other guy is because Vicente kept winning. The other guy didn't. They disappeared. It's only Vicente now.
And the other guy I thought had more promise initially too. I thought I liked him more.
They're the same guy.
So then whoever loses Yusuf versus Dawadu becomes the other guy and disappears.
I think so. But the thing is, they can't fight one another. I just want to see the universe tear apart or a wormhole. We need to go to this event so we can enter that wormhole. If
that'd be fun.
Sadiq Yusuf versus Hakeem Dawodu fight, we have to get front row, and I'm rushing the octagon because I'm going to be right in the center, and then I'm gone. I don't know where I'm going to end up in what time or someone's living room or whatnot. Be kind of like Donnie Darko.
Oh my Lord. So I clicked on Nico Price thinking he fought the other guy before fighting Luque. Nope. That was Luque. He fought Luque twice.
You gonna look up Mike Perry too?
Dude. Man. Well, I have to find this guy. I'm on a fucking mission, man, to find this guy.
He doesn't exist anymore. It's a Mandela effect. Or he became one, whatever it is, superposition in quantum physics. He's not there. Once you know an atom's what? Space, you can't know its momentum or whatever. You open the box. It's the cat in the box. The hell? I want to say Heisenberg. It's the other guy.
Dude, I'm pretty sure someone scraped this guy from the internet.
Schrodinger's cat. That's what it was. Well, good luck finding that because it ain't going to happen. Mackenzie Dern, last episode, I was mentioning how I think she's going to be a title contender. I thought she's, trying to implement the striking with takedowns and grappling, and that's like the grappler's dilemma is how much striking do I need to do in the fight so I can implement it further on or, be able to use it to get to my takedowns or whatnot. Her stand-up is a little wild, but the threat of a takedown it's an effective striking element within itself. It opens up your striking.
Here's my biggest striking takeaway from watching her strike is she looks more twitchy than the other women fighters.
Interesting. To me, she has it in her, and maybe it has a little bit of something to do with that. And look at her body.
Dude.
See, that's what was under that layer of fat. I'm not saying layer of fat in a bad way, because I might actually like the old Dern better, but you can tell she's training her ass off. She's serious now.
Her jawline looks more chiseled.
I could have
her
shoulders. I was like, holy shit, is that Barboza in there? And my dad is like, no, that's Mackenzie Dern. I was like, damn. Barboza's hot. Love Barboza in those Venom shorts. I want him to leg kick, or can I leg kick him? I don't want him to leg kick me.
Yeah, she's a dangerous man. Is she in the same, because Tatiana Suarez, what happened to her? Is she injured? And are her and Dern in the same weight class?
Yes. Tatiana Suarez. Oh man, her versus Dern. See, Tatiana, I think she's battling that. I wonder if it's still that neck injury. She's serious business. And usually a wrestler of a certain, pedigree beats a BJJ person. I hope they don't fight one another because I'm kind of on both of their nuts. But Tatiana, yeah, she disappeared.
So I want to see him fight sooner just to ensure we get the fight.
So both of them just move up and fight for the 125-pound title.
No, so they're both 115.
Yeah, and that confused me with Dern because she had the 125. She missed weight. Maybe I just psychologically put you up in the weight class or whatnot. Her and Hebus, sometimes when they do those one-offs, it gets confusing. But 115 is more stacked. But I guess, would you rather have a longer road or just a shorter road and you fight Valentina? You're like, shit, maybe if I lose at 115, then I'll move up and fight Valentina.
That's what I would do.
That's exactly what Andrade did, isn't it?
Yeah. Like ride that as long as you can and wait until you have to do it to make the switch.
Yeah, I guess because you'd want to build up. It's a progression. Build, you start getting,
It's not Caesar Fajeda, is it?
No. Mutante?
I didn't think so. I've been scrolling through welterweights for the past 12 minutes. I think you're right, man. They scraped this guy from the internet.
He doesn't exist. No. You're missing something here. He's scraped from the universe. He doesn't exist now. You can't find him. I feel like 12 monkeys or something right now. I'm Bruce Willis with my head shaved. Dern, breaking and Nunez's, Nina Nunez, can't say Nunez, Nina Nunez's arm free with her foot while trying to get the armbar. I loved it. And it was basically the beginning of the end. And as it was happening, I was thinking, what are Nina and Amanda thinking? Because at this moment, when do I tap? How early do I tap? How much do I try to roll and escape this? Because a broken arm, how easy is it to have picking up the kid, feeding it, doing all this different stuff? I'm surprised Amanda didn't throw in the towel, kind of like Nick Diaz did with Nate.
Do you think she had a weaker arm because of carrying the kid around? Like she could have fought the arm off a little bit longer, but due to carrying the child on the same side all the time, just, that bicep fatigue kicks in, man.
Or I was thinking a stronger arm. She couldn't let it extend and roll around as much. Maybe it was tighter.
Here's my fear. She didn't let it recover long enough between, the last child carrying session. Like maybe it is stronger, but it was worn down due to, overexertion.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'm going to say that's probably a Z factor that I missed going into the fight.
Yeah. Do you know that meme where Leonardo DiCaprio, not Da Vinci, or Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, who is Leonardo da Vinci, is pointing with the beer, the meme?
Yes.
That was me once you could see Amanda Nunes. Like after the fight and everything, I'm like, except it was a margarita instead of a beer. But man, I'm such a fangirl, man.
Dude, you and Kevin Holland both. Did you see him in the pre-fight presser?
Oh, he said, there's the greatest or whatever.
He's he's like, is that Nunes? Oh man, there's like a real life goat or something like that.
That made me like Kevin Holland.
That's probably why he lost. Too distracted.
I would be too.
I love the idea that someone said, just ship Holland to Dagestan for 9 months and we'll see him when he gets back.
Yeah.
Make Khabib your new dad for a little while.
Like Customado and Mike Tyson.
Dad. The way Mendes became Khabib's dad. Not his real dad, but like his coach training dad. Yeah. I guess like a father-like figure would be a way to word it.
No, or actually became his dad. Like Customado really adopted Mike Tyson, and he's a bald white guy.
All bald white guys do is adopt kids.
We're good dads, man.
You're right.
There's something
Stannis Baratheon, great head of hair. Shit dad. Darren Till, come on. I keep going, man. Bruce Willis, great dad. Him and Demi, he went on vacation with Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher while Kutcher's married to his ex. That's a great
wild.
dad right there.
That's wild to me. I thought of that. I know someone else who did that, and I'm trying to think, I could do it. I don't know if the other people could do it, but bald guys are great dads. I agree.
Also, bald guys love margaritas more.
Well, it's hard for me to disagree with that. I can only speak for my own experience, and I at least have several every week. So
evidence is there, man.
Yeah. And something's going on with me, but also something's going on with Mike Perry. I don't know what it is. As I was watching, I'm like, he looks flat. There's no defense. I started thinking, did he cut too much weight early where he wasn't getting enough calories because he's worried about missing weight again? But he just looked like he didn't have it. And it's always that question, how much do you want to give to the other guy? How much credit? But there's something going on.
He's another guy, man. 3-7 in his last 10.
Tell me what it is. Tell me what's going on. Whatever your reason is, I'll sign off on it because I don't want to think about it anymore.
Let me put it this way. We may see him shave his head bald in the near future.
Oh, I would like that. Does this mean he's in a better relationship with Vettori or a worse one?
It's better, but he likes the chaos. He thrives in it. I think he had his best fights when him and Platinum Princess were fighting. They're together, he loses.
When quarantine ends, Vettori gets her little pre-body back completely. Shit's going to get crazy again with that relationship. Plus, he's got a foreign girl. Wait till Platinum starts doing that acro yoga where guys got their feet on her big ol' ass. It's probably going to start fights. Vettori probably follows her and she follows her. Probably, how girls will passive aggressively like their comments or show that they've seen it on Snapchat, all those different social media stalking tactics.
Now, is acro yoga like tantric sex in any way?
I don't know. I just said acro yoga. I don't know if I got it right, but it is foreplay, I think. I don't want some guy with his feet on my girl's ass. I think, right? You tell me how I should feel.
Nah, I'm with you, man. You're
don't.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that.
Why don't he put his feet on her tits?
There's no reason for it.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy doesn't have the edge anymore. That's what it is. I'm on his Instagram feed right now.
That's what happens.
It's hard to keep the edge, man, when things are going so good.
So you're saying he needs to visit that Orlando shooter girl and revive his career. That's what happened with Platinum.
Because the thing is, like, it would be for the betterment of their financial future.
Okay.
That's how you spin it, I think. Like, I need this for us. I'm doing this for us.
And she says, thank you. The highlight of that fight. All right. You tell me what the highlight was. I'll give you two options. And that's all you get. Perry's nose or Joe Schilling in Rodriguez's corner saying, do the kick you were doing on me when we were on mushrooms.
I'm probably going that route.
Why?
Well, I'm just grateful that others have a positive mushroom experience because mine wasn't like that. Like, these guys are doing cool kicks. I'm trying to kill people on mushrooms. Quite the different high or trip.
So somebody could say to you, do what you were trying to do on me on mushrooms in the fight.
That's true.
So but then I might kill him?
A knife.
They're like, kill him. And he says, yeah, that's what I want you to do.
No,
He's like, all right.
I was trying to submit him though, but not. So there's rear naked, there's guillotine, there's a million chokes, right? What's the one where you just grab them by their neck, like the Undertaker?
Domestic violence.
Oh shit, that wouldn't work in a cage probably.
Who knows? Might get armbarred.
The thing is, they might throw him off. Slip a feint in there instead of throwing like an elbow, like a short bow. You just the short choke.
I think
It'd
it
probably
actually
break
might.
out pretty
It
quickly.
might. I wonder if it is illegal. I'd have to look
Seems
at
like with your
You-
arteries and your
maybe it's like the
throat
squeezing
there.
of.
Oh,
So you're going with that one. I get terrible anxiety on mushrooms or weed, and I will just shut the door and play video games or think about my life in the corner with regrets and guilt. So yeah, I wouldn't don't do what you do on mushrooms. I would go in the corner and turtle up, and the guy would just start teeing off on me. And hopefully he gets DQ because he throws a knee.
yeah.
And I
So
become champ.
my last experience on marijuana, such high anxiety that I had to slam beers continuously until I passed out.
Sounds good to me.
See, maybe for some, they want to be more aware. No, me less aware. Give me more of a numbing high. That's why I like booze, I think.
You mentioned feints. The quote of the card was Cormier. Dom, I love feints. I love when guys faint. And then Dominic like giggles. I was like, man, that's that. Feints are great.
Was that during the Perry fight? Because he's talking about Perry not moving his head at all. Or maybe that was Dom saying that.
I want to say, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah. If I don't write it down, it runs together. But someone talked about Perry not moving his head. And yeah.
So here's Big Paul. Here's what he said. Guys are really slipping out there today. And then he'll just kind of throw out a comment where it's kind of sort of true, it's kind of negative, like he's pessimistic. And he just kind of says, somewhat under his breath, oh, had to pack those sponsors in on it for ABC money. So and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, once they have the logos, they're slippery. There's way more logos for this event. So guys are slipping around more.
When he said guys are really slipping, I'm like, man, he really recognized the defensive striking to recognize all of the head slips. And then I'm like, oh no, like losing their balance.
Yeah, I should have been more.
Like Paul's been watching a lot of striking on YouTube or something, huh?
No, he'll never get specific. He'll always kind of act too cool and kind of try to bring you back down to reality real quick.
There's a sponsor, and I'm like, how do I bring this up on the podcast? This is a doesn't matter, but
perfect segue.
One of the sponsors on the post is my new local gas station down here in South Carolina. QT Quick Trip.
Okay.
I was like, I never heard of it. And then here you go.
I've never heard of it. It's a gas station.
Yeah. And it's on the post in the Octagon. There you go. That's what's not a fun fact? Worthless fact?
I just think a shit fact, but I need a different one. I guess it's nothing. You just kind of say it. There's
Lord.
I don't know what to call it. It is what it is.
I'm reading this article on, not reading it just because we're talking on the pod here, but I came across this in a quick search, and it's talking about the ideal demographic. So here it says, UFC's ideal demo for the commercials would ideally like to spend their pastime. Number one is drinking alcohol or inordinately sugary energy drinks.
Damn, man, I'm just a statistic.
Now, playing computer games, gambling online.
So I'm doing what I should be doing. Watching
This is our
UFC.
entire foursome so far with Cousin Frank and Mark.
Does it
I
say
mean, Frank's
about
new
sex?
gambling is stock trading, but tomato, tomato.
Does it say anything about sex and Molly or wigs or
Hang on.
Bobby?
Talking to, flirting with, looking at, or touching attractive females. That's number 3.
Does it say listening to Miley Cyrus Party in the USA anywhere? Or does it say
No.
Wrecking Ball?
No, unfortunately not. Number 4, though, is driving powerful vehicles.
Oh, that's not me.
No. That's the other demographic. Number 5 is participating in anything macho that may appeal to attractive females.
I don't know, trying to be macho. I don't know.
Then number 7 is eating tasty food.
Stop. No, it isn't. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if you're messing with me.
That's what it says.
Eating tasty food
Yeah.
versus what? Eating shit food? So some demographic out there is likes eating bland food.
This may not be the most important articles, because number 1 is
Kind of funny. I like
you
it.
don't need inordinately sugary energy drinks. Just say sugary.
Hey, mine are
Take a piss of that.
diet. I usually drink diet energy drinks, but I like the sugar ones and I'll implement them. But just energy drinks. You don't have to add that adjective. But yeah, they're right. What do you think of the rest of this event? Jeremy Stevens versus Close, whatever. Jakar Close is dangerous.
Oh, the next event?
Let's go into the next event. You want to go into the next event? Ben Askren versus Jake Paul. This weekend, James.
$50, man.
Which event are you looking forward to more? UFC on ESPN, Whittaker versus Gastelum, or Ben Askren versus Jake Paul?
Who else is on the Askren Jake Paul event?
Well, Frank Mir is on there.
Is he boxing someone?
Yes.
Hang on. Antonio Tarver?
Riddick Bowe.
Is Riddick Bowe still with us?
I hope so. No, I don't know. Who cares who's on the rest of the card? Because there are performances by Justin Bieber, Black Keys, Doja Cat, Saweetie, Diplo, Major Lazer, and this is the first I've heard this term, Mount Westmore, which consists of Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Too Short, and E40.
This is their new rap group?
I don't know if they're just putting those people together for this event. Have you ever heard that term, Mount Westmore?
No.
Not going to lie, I kind of like it. It's a play on Rushmore, and they're from the West Side, Mount Westmore. It makes sense to me.
The
And that just
opening
makes me
fight
feel-
on the card is a guy who's 8-0 versus a guy with 0 career fights.
Ben Askren versus Jake Paul.
Oh, they have Askren's MMA record on here. And Frank Mir's. Never heard of Steve Cunningham, though. Paul, who do you think has more votes to win? And then what do you think the ratio is on the because they have on the fight card on the fight.tv channel or website, they have the vote percentages for each fighter in each bout.
So the question is, who do you think is going to win?
Right. Out of Paul and Askren.
What
do you think the
what's the
ratio is?
website?
FITE.tv. I believe this is where you buy the event.
I think, God, I'm like, Jake Paul might have more social media presence, or do they look at this other guy as a fighter? And then the third aspect is his stand up is considered really terrible.
And
I'm going to go Jake Paul as the more votes.
Askren's had a hip replacement. I think that expedites your entry into AARP.
So, who has more votes?
Paul.
What's the what it percentage?
Yeah. Want to guess?
I'm going to say, why would you tell me that? So I'm going to guess higher, 70-30.
No. It's 54-46. It's the closest of all the fights on the webpage.
So you're picking Paul based on the hip replacement? Or it's affecting you?
I know Askren says he's a good athlete, and I know he has a career that's credentialed in two sports. But I watch him, he's not that athletic. Now, I don't know how athletic Paul is. I know nothing about the guy. I know he's younger and bigger. And at some point, that does play a role.
He does look big.
Jake Paul is like, he's muscular, he's broad. He didn't look less twitchy than Nate Robinson, former NBA player who was smaller.
Tell me what your favorite Jake Paul body part is without drooling. His hair?
I was going to lean either there or his beard.
Okay.
But his beard a body part? Now, I'm picking Askren because I feel like mental fortitude will come into play. I don't know. How many rounds is the fight? I don't know anything about the fight.
What is it? I don't know if this is going the distance.
I mean, Askren's had a fucking hip replacement.
So I start thinking Askren is this MMA guy. This isn't MMA, but he's only been KO'd by a ridiculous knee with amount of force of like a semi truck.
Yeah.
Like Lawler, when Lawler crushed him with those shots, I don't know how he survived them. And he's been in there. He can handle it. He starts, is he going to try working the clinch? Can he get the clinch? And then once, what happens if it gets to the third round or whatnot? Are the nerves going to get to competing like that constantly and getting a guy, once it gets a little bit tougher, where that experience really matters? That being said, he's also a 36-year-old man coming off an extensive wrestling and MMA career. And like you said, a hip replacement. I'm like, a hip replacement, but it actually is a hip resurfacing. Not to be too like technical here. Both are like crazy. The recovery time, it isn't that completely chopping off the top of that, putting a new one on or whatnot. So it isn't as intricate. I don't think it needs as much heal time. How much that means, I don't know. That makes me a little better for maybe picking Askren. I've been back and forth at this. I hate that this is so weird. This is so circus-like that I almost think, Jake, I don't know what other things I had this feeling for, but I feel like the thing happens. The crazy thing happens. And I'm just like, God, I'm almost like dreaming Jake Paul's going to KO him or something. But then, do I have to pick Askren? Because if I pick Jake Paul and he loses, am I an idiot? Like the consequences of me picking Jake Paul and him getting annihilated in there, I look like an idiot. Kind of like I feel when I picked, what's his name? The fucking CM Punk.
And
I
we
can't
just
pick
saw
Jake Paul.
Lobov. We just saw Lobov beat a pro boxer in bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle fighting. Like we're seeing weird shit.
Hey, but Lobov is Jake Paul, and Malignaggi was Ben
Right.
Askren.
No, I'm supporting your idea that Paul can win this.
He's big and athletic. I just have to pick Askren because I don't want to pick it off that stupid reason that all this weirdness and everything. And somehow Snoop Dogg is probably going to be the referee.
So here's
And
the thing, man. So I'm watching Robinson versus Jake Paul highlights. Jake Paul's instincts in there are pretty good. Like he's slipping Robinson's punches.
he's got the money and everybody around him where I think he's serious, where the guys, when they come up, they're training, they're going to classes where they're all in a group. They're training with different people. They're going to work at the fucking car wash or wherever else. They don't have a nutritionist. And guys, when they get pro, they can start putting some more of their resources. Jake Paul has a boxing ring like in his living room, a real full-blown boxing ring. He has guys around him who train him constantly. He has nutritionists making his food. He's serious. And I'm going to give a hot take. I think he'll be on performance enhancers. Hot take.
I mean, why wouldn't you if it's legal?
Is there testing in this exhibition?
It may be a pro fight.
And what did they say? They say the drug test is an intelligence test, right? That used to be the saying. It's not like USADA where they're knocking on your door. They're like, they go into your covers and grab your dick and get your semen in your urine to try to test it. Ben Askren better be on TRT also.
All right, so
because Jake Paul is going to have those Nate Marquardt levels.
So it looks like Georgia does a pretty thorough testing.
What, before and after the fight? 6 hours before, 6 hours after? And boxing, that kind of stuff, who knows? They'll have Askren out there. They'll make him cold. They'll come out a half hour later. Jake Paul's going to have this whole performance. It's just going to be a lot of weird stuff surrounding it, but still, Ben Askren's pretty chill. He's got grittiness. I guess I'm just talking myself through my thought process. I have to pick Askren. He's got the chin, and when it gets later, Paul, I think, will be more likely to quit, give up. However which way, I'm not saying it in a bad way, just however which way it happens, you got a shot. Like in MMA, it's the rear naked choke instead of tapping.
Yeah. That's where I'm leaning to, is Ben wrestling grit, man, is real. That practice is hard. Go through the fire. He's been in there. Lawler nearly killed him, and he won that fight somehow. So I like the idea of Askren getting it. It's 8 rounds too.
What about Askren maybe not training as hard? Is this just whatever, I'm going in here for a payday? And I think Jake Paul is completely, his life is revolving around this. And I think he's putting a lot of money towards it.
Yes, I agree. Because it's actually pretty genius for him to parlay his internet fame into generating revenue pay-per-view events versus stars from other sports and making money that way. It's a really smart business decision.
It is. It's
So,
also embarrassing. I'm almost embarrassed that we're talking about it this much and I have this much interest in it.
oh, breaking news.
Jake Paul out.
Jan versus Glover Teixeira.
Okay. That's the fight that's
Number
supposed to
4.
happen. That's the fight that's supposed to happen. So that's good. That's a feel good story.
Like a combined age of 85.
Let's not talk about that fight and let's go back to Askren versus Jake Paul.
I agree. Because I have one more take on Askren that I want to get into. I saw this video a while back and he's doing medicine ball slams. And I'm like, man, the guy has no hip hinge. He bends like a grandparent bends. And like if I was betting on Askren, my biggest fear would be is that either not anymore, not just not a special athlete, but his grit and toughness is why I'm taking him. Because I just think the later rounds, man, he'll be hard to put away.
Won't get that. I mean, I don't think he'll get that giant adrenaline dump.
He probably won't get that. Okay, there's a little better bend right there. All right. He's got some knee bend going there. Maybe he's a little bit farther out from his hip surgery when he was doing that video.
Yeah, that's
I like to read into things that don't usually matter that much and then read into them anyway. That's kind of my
I like it.
My style.
Let's hear it.
Here's the thing, like Ben better be training his ass off. Because if he goes to a YouTube star, he's never gonna live that down, man. Or is he just like, fuck it, payday? All right, dude.
So he's fighting for MMA. Kind of how Rose is fighting communism. Like Ben is fighting for
Dustin for hillbillies.
No. Rose is fighting for freedom.
Let me show you this medicine ball slam here. And maybe he's just doing it because he's like doing a promo and he's not really slamming there. But
all right.
He has no hip hinge. He's not very flexible. His low back's rounded to pick up the ball. Now, this is also from January 26th.
True. And I think he got a surgery in November. I don't think he's slamming with velocity there. It looks like he's somewhat setting it down. And that could be the difference. The other part is I've seen I remember like Usain Bolt doing these cleans, and I feel like I watched some high level basketball people do these squats and they were horrendous. And I think it was just, maybe that's something they don't normally do.
Yeah.
And
that's probably it, man.
And I'm just like, wow, that guy is still utterly amazing. And what can you even say about Usain Bolt? I don't know if that's the same, but it looked like there was something where he was almost like setting it down there.
That's why like did he just pop in there, grab the ball, and like that's his promo setup?
Or he was just showing how much range of motion his hip could have. So he's almost overdoing it at the bottom, and therefore his back started bending.
Who knows? Maybe he was just trying to look unathletic there on purpose to fuck with him. Because I
look stupid.
I believe I watched a recent video of him striking, and he looks much better to me.
And a lot of that is timing, entry, feints.
Listen, just keep your chin down and close the distance.
And make it prolong and get in there and clinch with the guy.
Yeah, wear him down.
Throw in a trip. Who cares about points being taken? This fight's not going the distance. Go in there, finish them in the 4th or 5th. Get in there, start
100%.
tripping them, get some points, grapple around, do the Bernard Hopkins, one foul in every area, and lengthen it.
Now, here's the thing, like being an MMA fan, I don't care if Ben loses. It has no effect on me. It doesn't change the sport. Like literally nothing changes. I want to see chaos. I want to see a show and mayhem.
What if he were to face a legit MMA striker? Would you be cheering for him then? I can't believe I'm thinking Conor first, but Conor would be likely to do it.
That could happen. Conor's not far from Jake Paul. They're cut from the same cloth.
Okay, let's just say Dustin Poirier versus Jake Paul. Would
yes.
you really cheering for Dustin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he more represents MMA
and he's in his prime. Ben Askren is 36 going on 56 based on that hit, man. And that's not a shot, just reality.
Okay.
I'm watching this. I got the Paul.
You know, James, girls can get their tits done. Why can't Ben Askren get his hip done? Is it because maybe one is cosmetic and one's not? Okay, good point.
No, I have no pushback for you there.
Are his hips more voluptuous now? Does he have a more hourglass figure? Is he thick now?
I almost started making a comment there. I'm like, no, that's too far. Hold it in, James. Hold it in. Paul moves his feet pretty well in there, man. Now, Robinson is just rushing forward. Robinson's like a really shitty version of Derek Brunson before Derek Brunson changed training camps.
Family tree update. Early Derek Brunson is the dad of Nate Robinson.
What's the betting line on this? And what book would have this up? Are we already customizing it right now?
Jake Paul. 4 hours ago, I see. Sometimes I see articles. I'm like, okay, article doesn't mean shit. I want to see where you can actually bet. I haven't been betting as much lately, which is Jake Paul minus 170, Ben Askren plus 140. Or is this an article that just shows that it's current, but it's just keeps it updated so the date keeps getting current? I don't know.
Are you on OddsShark?
Yeah.
That's where I am too.
Whatever you do, don't bet on the fight. Just enjoy it. Yeah. Actually, or is this the one you're supposed to bet on?
Unless if you're rooting for Askren so hard, maybe you bet on Paul for a little bit of fan insurance or vice versa.
Yeah.
But I doubt any Jake Paul fanboys are listening to this show.
Bovada has Jake Paul minus 190, Ben Askren plus 155. God, they're going to make this boxing versus MMA stuff. That kind of annoys me, but
no, this is YouTube versus wrestling.
Good point. Yeah, you're right. I'm saying what we're going to hear versus what it realistically is. Are you going to buy it? Plus 49.99.
No.
Rank these events this weekend. UFC on ESPN, Whittaker versus Gastelum, Ben Askren versus Jake Paul, Bellator 257, Nemkov versus Phil Davis.
Is that on Friday?
I don't know.
Number 1, UFC. Number 2, Paul versus Askren.
Did you just say Askren versus Paul earlier was the head of UFC on ESPN? I can't remember.
Listen, I firmly believe in as you take in new information, you can adjust your opinion on something.
So what started turning you off for Askren versus Paul? Was it the Mount Westmore?
I think I think it was the price tag actually, $50.
What price would it have been What's its cap? For
30.
you? 30, $29.99.
And Bellator at third because they didn't know what was happening.
Got Cousin Frank's man, Phil Davis. Winner faces the winner of Rumble versus Yoel. And then you also have Corey Anderson versus Yakshi Nurmagomedov. Winner faces Ryan Bader.
Bro, there was a Bellator last week.
There's a Bellator every week, guy.
Ryan Bader avenges his loss versus Lyoto Machida. Dude, look at this card. All right, here are 3 winners on the card. Ryan Bader, Kat Zingano, Liz Carmouche. What do they all have in common, Paul?
I don't know the Liz Carmouche fight, but I'm going to guess it was a decision.
Correct. How about Zingano getting an armbar? Zingano was the only finish on the card. So let me get this straight.
She's built more muscle mass ever since she took out her implants. Smart move. Well, could be argued.
And can't wait, if the implants aren't there, you can get more torque on the elbow, right? In an armbar.
I guess so. It could be argued.
You have like less chest in the way. You can like.
So Mackenzie Dern decommissioning her artillery helped her with the armbar. That's what you're saying to me, right?
100%. I would say she's 7% better with decommissioned artillery.
Okay.
So Bellator is going to only put 1. Okay, they have 2 on this card coming up.
To be fair to Liz Carmouche, her fight before her last fight, she did win via rear naked choke in the 3rd round.
Also, Liz Carmouche was in the very first women's UFC MMA title fight.
Versus Honda Housey, but she did do it versus someone whose nickname is Vitamin D. Hey,
why don't you put Misha Tate versus Ronda Rousey on the fight announcement rankings? Isn't that fight in the works?
No, the fight is going to be Tate versus Nunes.
Once Tate wins 1 fight, she will fight Nunes at featherweight for the belt.
What do I do?
Okay.
What do I do? Can I even watch?
Yes, while eating cupcakes and wearing overalls.
Oh my God.
Then you have a man.
It sounds very comfortable. And let's be real. Come on, man. We know I feel like I maybe let the people know what was going to happen in the first fight, because I want to say Amanda Nunes might have been an underdog in that fight, which when would people going to stop making her underdog? I tried telling them for years that she started killing everybody, but it's not going to go well again. But you get your payday.
I'm shocked Paul Daly is back.
Semtex, man. What a great nickname.
What is a more mal version of Semtex?
Like Black Cats, maybe?
Black Cat?
Those poppers that you throw down.
Those are fun, man.
Those are fun.
Those are fun.
I guess that's a lot weaker than Semtex. Oh, you're saying he needs to change his nickname. Thing is guys still hold on to power. It just doesn't last as long. Like it might be 1 punch he has Semtex in now. Or maybe not. I don't even know. I'm just.
What? So is that like a Dynamite Semtex?
I want to say it's different than Dynamite, but similar.
All right, so I got a list of 5 of the most powerful non-nuclear explosives ever.
So Francis Ngannou is Zarbomba. Paul Daly is Semtex.
You ever heard TATP?
Demetrius is Black Cat. What?
Never heard of these. PETN?
No.
Similar to TNT. Maybe Semtex does fit, actually. It's not in the ranking system here.
Yeah, I like that nickname.
No, it's badass. It always has been badass.
If he didn't have that nickname, probably wouldn't care too much for him. It was sure good. He still had some exciting fights and whatnot. Had a nice little moment versus Josh Koscheck.
His Nick Diaz fight just swirled around the internet recently.
Now that was a badass fight. From what I remember, I always have to rewatch something after 5 years because my memory I don't trust, but I think it was a badass fight.
So check this out. Semtex contains RDX and PETN. So those components make up Semtex. We better be careful, man, talking about dynamite on a podcast.
Oh, we're talking about, all this
is
stuff.
Purely educational purposes and entertainment purposes.
Yeah, and the first 50 callers get a signed edition by me and James of the Anarchist Cookbook. Dude, we're done. They're gonna be like white nationalists trying to get the like, whoa, easy.
So Semtex was made in Czechoslovakia in the 1950s.
The red, under the Iron Curtain. Look at that. Full circle, huh? That's all I got, man.
Let's get the fuck out of here.